You chose absolutely right tuning into Rwanda television news tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a great and productive day. And now, this is what is coming up on Edition tonight. The Committee on Social Affairs and Human Rights in the Rwandan Senate chamber in the Rwandan Parliament requests institutions in charge to demonstrate the exact figures of Rwandans living with disabilities. The Gasabo Primary Court has denied bail to 4 in 5 former Gasabo district officials involved in the Kwadubai estate owner case. A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. And now, news in details. As we begin our tonight's edition, let us inform you that on Tuesday at Village Rugiro, President Paul Kagame met with Dr. Lassina Zerbo, chairperson of the Rwanda Atomic Energy Board, and Dr. Fidel Ndahayo, CEO of RIBE. The discussions focused on the importance of nuclear energy for Africa's future and the need to invest in capacity building to take advantage of ongoing innovations, including the development of a small modular reactor technology. President Paul Kagame also received Bill Woodcock, the executive director of the Packet Clearing House, for discussion on the development of robust and sustainable internet infrastructure. PCH operates a global network of internet exchange points, including Rector in Rwanda. Moving ahead to the Rwandan Parliament, the Committee on Social Affairs and Human Rights in the Rwandan Senate requested relevant institutions to demonstrate the exact figures on number of Rwandans living with disabilities, as they are essential in establishing government policies in favor of their development. Shina Teta with more.
While reviewing the preliminary draft of the long-term budget, focus was on the 3 pillars of the National Transformation Strategy. This draft also indicates that the country's income will increase as the years of the budget continue. For instance, Rwanda's income was 4,764.8 billion Rwandan francs and 5,300.2 billion Rwandan francs for the budget years 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 respectively, while it is expected that the budget years 2024-2025 and 2025-2026 will generate an income of 5,601.2 billion to 6,380 billion respectively. However, the budget allocated to agriculture has decreased from 176 billion to 157 billion during the budget year 2023-2024. Some senators again have it that there are other sectors to be focused on.
There is a budget allocated to agriculture, but in relation to what the African Union requires, which states that all countries should allocate at least 10% of the country's budget to agriculture. I thank the government for making it easy for the citizens to pay taxes, which widens the number of those who pay tax.
Among the recognized is the expected decrease of the country's domestic credit from 6.7% to 3% in the year 2025-2026, together with how payment of taxes has been eased for citizens, seen as the country's economic benefit. I thank the government for making it easy for citizens to pay taxes, which widens the number of those who pay the tax. Other praises were how the government promotes tourism, hosts international conferences and games, providing jobs to Rwandans and preventing genocide denial. Shina Teta, RTV News.
To matters related to justice, the Gasabo Primary Court denied bail to 4 out of 5 former Gasabo district officials involved in the Kwadubai real estate owner case. Prince Ponzi.
3 p.m. on Tuesday, the judges in the Gasabo Primary Court in Kigali City started reading the minutes of the bail request of former Gasabo district officials, namely Stephen Gwamurangwa, former mayor, Raymond Chrétien Berabahizi, former vice mayor in charge of economic development, Jean d'Arc Nyirabihogo, former director of One Stop Center, and Jean-Baptiste Bizimana, former district construction engineer. All these were arrested by the Rwanda Investigation Bureau on the 19th of May, charged of allegedly abusing their offices, especially in the case of Jean Sabimana, also known as Dubai, who is charged of fraud in the construction of 131 houses in the Rukumbuzi estate, located in Kinyinya sector, Gasabo district in Kigali city. The Gasabo Primary Court stated that considering the progress made in the investigation thus far, there are reasonable grounds to suspect that all defendants have committed the alleged crimes. Hence, concluding that Stephen Gwamurangwa, Raymond Chrétien Berabahizi, Jean d'Arc Nyirabihogo, and Jean Sabimana aka Dubai to be remanded for 30 more days. Nevertheless, after analysis, the court decided that Jean-Baptiste Bizimana be released. Today, the court was read in absence of the defendants. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince. The Rwanda Cultural Heritage Academy has integrated technology into their operations to facilitate an increased number of visits and revenues, presentation of artifacts and research endeavors. Precious Chirezi.
Youth make up the smallest percentage of visits to the museum, and certain young people have expressed the view that digitizing the museums might position them better to explore its contents.
People that want to visit museums but are discouraged by the distance can now visit virtually.
The Culture Academy intends on being featured on Google's Art and Culture platform in the near future, making it easier for internet users to access and explore museums digitally, according to the exhibition director at Rwanda Culture Heritage Academy.
umuntu azajya ajya ku rubuga rwa Google Arts and Culture cyangwa se ishami rya.
You can go to the Google Art and Culture website and type Rwanda in the search engine, and the second option will lead you to our website, where one can view the museums and book a visit or get information about the country and pay for the virtual visit.
cyangwa se hari uburenganzira asabye inteko y'umuco.
The Director General of the Heritage Academy is of the view that the digital transition will increase visits to museums and facilitate research.
Ridufasha ibintu byinshi harimo ubwabyo kubungabunga umurage.
Preserving heritage through digital means gives it permanence and publicizes our culture across the globe, because technology has no borders. The museum has received 3,000 to 8,000 visits a year since the digital transition, and the numbers could multiply.
This occurs as Rwanda joins the world in celebrating the International Day of Museums, taking place on Thursday, May 18th at the Museum of Environment in Karongi District. Precious Chirezi, RTV News.
Thank you, Precious Chirezi, for this report, and we'll move ahead to different other matters. The African Development Bank, AFDB, has demonstrated the benefits of enhancing the collaboration and partnership between financial institutions and the private sector towards the implementation of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
Although the loans given to the private sector continue to increase, there are still various challenges based on the high interest rate. This increase is mainly linked to the growth of the economy and the fact that many projects need a lot of money to be implemented, as pointed out by various local investors. There is this serious issue of when they offer you a loan, they provide it in other currencies, either US dollars, euros or pounds, which can lead to a loss during a certain point of the rise of inflation or currency deficit. The Deputy Director of Private Sector Federation, Karasira Foste, points out that in order to solve these problems based on the collaboration between the private sector and financial institutions, there should be a joint system to facilitate both parties.
Growth is the access to finance. Now, by the time we met with the bank and we learned about, their products, which are very, diverse, very, somehow flexible, we thought that it is very important to bring together the bank and the key captains of the industry. So that's why, today we are meeting here. Now, the expectation is really, our members to access the affordable and long-term financing that are being offered by the bank.
Isa Tulesar, country manager for Rwanda, African Development Bank, knows the role of this bank in the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA.
When we spoke about private sector development on the continent, we're talking about SMEs, because they are the one having the bulk of the business. They are the one on employment is from SMEs.
The Financial Stability Committee of the Central Bank of Rwanda, BNR, published the biggest growth of the banking sector of 15%, which was mainly based on the growth of capital and deposits. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams. The Senate Committee on Human Rights and Social Affairs has encouraged relevant institutions to provide relevant information and numbers related to the persons with disabilities so that measures and policies to help them can be put in place.
Senators have revealed that in their recent visit, they found out that people living with disabilities have various challenges in education and health services, and not knowing the exact figures of these people is the main reason behind those challenges.
Numbers are the priority. It is essential that they are known. Any planning or policy has to be based on the exact figures of them in their different categories, be it age or their precise disability.
They demonstrated that people with disabilities are treated once a year, and when he or she gets sick in the same year, they pay 100% of the fee. Emmanuel Ndaisaba, the Executive Secretary at the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, revealed that there is an ongoing analysis on how a census of people with disabilities across the country can be conducted, but the concern remains that even the known are not taken care of as it should.
It is not because they do not know them, but rather systems in place. As systems are in place, the situation will continue to get better. And if this census will be conducted, then parents who had their children will be determined.
This committee also demonstrated that there are also challenges in education for people with disabilities. The Minister of Education, Dr. Uwamaria Valentine, says that the government will continue to facilitate the education of the disabled, and this will depend on the country's budgets. Facilities are still incapacitated, and looking at the budget allocated to the disabled, we still have much to do as the government so that those children with disability can be offered special treatment. Last year's population census indicated that 391,775 Rwandans live with disability. Shinateta, RTV News.
The Ministry of Health has revealed that it expects the EU twinning project to be beneficial. The project aims to ensure that people of Rwanda have access to safe, effective and quality local manufactured medical products and vaccines. Prince Manzi.
In June 2022, the Rwanda Foods and Drugs Authority and the European Union signed the €2 million both Memorandum of Understanding. Today, Tuesday, marked the start of the implementation of this MOU and is expected to ameliorate the Rwanda FTA capacity.
The main objective of this project is to enhance the capacity building of the Rwanda FDA to implement their mandate. They have to regulate medical product and also vaccine. This is a big collaboration between 7 countries and the Rwanda FDA. So it's really good because it's really nice because we have a lot of strong experts, and so that's why, yeah.
The Minister of State in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Iva Butera, demonstrates that this partnership will lead to best quality and yet locally produced medicines and vaccines.
We are working
with various institutions and countries for the locally produced medicines to be on standard. This is also the main purpose of this project, testing the medicines and laboratories to be on an international standard. There are also steps for our medicine to enter on the international market. All of these are included in this partnership. The EU ambassador to Rwanda, Belen Kavo Yara, reiterates that this project will be beneficial to Rwanda as a nation investing in the health sector.
It's about achieving the level of maturity that the WTO requires in order to be able to produce vaccines, but it's also about bringing together all the stakeholders to make this initiative coming. There's a big private sector investment. BioNTech is coming to Rwanda. It's already here to be able to produce vaccines. And as I said, based on this progress, the EU is certainly exploring how to add into this and how to invest further on the health ecosystem, on the pharma ecosystem. I cannot announce here today figures, dates, but we are working on this, and the good results help us in this endeavor.
The Rwanda Development Board report demonstrated 100 newly innovated projects registered in 2022. One of these projects is the BioNTech. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Experts in education point out that having advanced competence and skills in mathematics is among the factors that can stimulate the change needed on the African continent by using skills from this course to solve challenges that hinder the development of the continent in general. This was reiterated during the opening ceremony of the Pan-African Mathematics Olympiad. Olive Nete.
This year's Olympiad is participated by young people from 32 countries of the African continent, where mathematics tests are conducted in order to stimulate and develop the interest of African youths in solving mathematical problems, as well as using these problem-solving skills and competences to solve challenges hindering Africa's development. Some of the young people who attended the Olympiad say that they look forward to represent well their country.
So in this competition, I expect to learn more about problem solving, especially how you approach a problem. I expect to communicate with people from different countries and learn how they do things in their countries. So actually, when I think of mathematical problem solving, I think of critical thinking. So I expect to approach the problems that the world is facing right now by thinking critically and finding solutions for any problems.
We're expecting to win. This is our first time participating live and personally, so we expect to take the gold home to our families, to our friends, to our schools, and be the proud Namibian team that we always were since the beginnings. We also want to learn their moralities, what kept them going, what kept them actually trying to go forward and never give up.
Experts and analysts in education point out that increasing competences and skills in mathematics is essential to drive the needed changes on the continent.
Les mathématiques sont à la fois la base de tout programme éducatif et à la pointe des grands.
Mathematics is both the basis of any educational program and at the forefront of big scientific and technological development. So as a science, mathematics is essential and should play a fundamental role in solving science, technology and innovation problems which are essential to the development of our continent.
Qui sont essentielles au développement de notre continent.
It is known that our continent cannot develop if science in general and mathematics in particular are not placed at the heart of our programs. Dear students, it is for the first time that a large number of candidates have come together to participate in the Pan-African Mathematical Olympiad. Your respective countries, the whole of Africa, is counting on you.
Rwanda is attending the Olympiad for the third time. According to Dr. Valentine Uwamariya, the Minister of Education, Rwanda aims at promoting equitable access to quality education.
The Ministry of Education, Rwanda, has its mission to transform the Rwandan citizen into skilled human capital for socio-economic development of this country by ensuring equitable access to quality education, focusing on combating.
This is the 30th edition of the Pan-African Mathematics Olympiad and is for the first time being carried out in Rwanda with 192 participants from high schools in the 32 African countries. It is expected to last 7 days. Olive Nete, RwandaTV News.
And on behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, thank you very much for being with us. Up until next time, stay safe and have a great evening.